Hey guys, Rob here, back in for another video. And this is going to be just an audio video, really, of like, I'm going to tell you my story of Rogue Events City of Heroes 2 convention. Um, Now, I was a really late attendee to this. I bought my ticket back in February. Um, I didn't intend to go to this whatsoever. But they were just announcing name after name after name, and these are all relevant names to like some of my favorite TV shows right now. And I was like, wow, I really wish I could go to this. And Simon and Dave were already going. They bought their tickets like last year's Think City Heroes that weren't, and because they attended last year as well. They were like they couldn't see me go, and so I bought a ticket. Um, I bought a ticket, but I had WrestleMania still to come at that point, and so I had no idea how much I was going to be spending at this con. Um, and I really didn't invest myself too much at that point into this convention because of WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania ended, I was like on this. Like, this was insane how much on this I was. Um, I mean, the guests were amazing and everything. But we're going to start on the Friday evening, the Friday day even. Um, so, obviously, this convention was in Birmingham. So I had to travel up to Birmingham from London, and so did Dave. So we managed to get on the same train up there, which was great. Um, and we're on the train. We couldn't get seats together, unfortunately, but we got seats adjacent to each other. And now, City Heroes was held at the Hilton Metropole Hotel at Birmingham Airport, and which is right next to the NEC, the arena. And at the arena, there was a convention going on, a body expo. And on this train were all like muscle people. Um, so I've got a seat on it with a table, and Dave's next to me. And like, there's on this table, there's three guys, two guys and a girl, and they're like really beefy, like muscular people. And like, they're talking about a schedule that they have to go to, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll go, Dave, have you got that schedule? He's like, yeah, here you go. And so Dave's printed out the schedule for us at the con. Now, bear in mind, we literally had got the schedule like 2 days prior to the convention. And Dave printed me out a copy. And he gave me what the most poshest paper I have ever seen in the world. This was thick paper. It was like tinted yellow. It had a header. Honest to God, Dave is posh, and he won't admit it. But I'm like, wow, look at this paper. So I'm like, I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm going, Dave, about the schedule. Yeah, yeah, we've got this, we've got some clashes here and there, and these like, I don't know what should we call them, fitness people, okay. These fitness guys, and they're talking about their schedule, and I know they're giving me looks, because I'm not the most fittest person in the world. I'm not fit at all. I'm like, yeah, I've got clashes here and there, and I was like trying to wind them up, um, but obviously it didn't work. So me and Dave looking at the schedule was like, Dave's got a highlight pen, he's highlighting where he needs to be at what time, and I'm doing the same. But with my highlighter pen, because I met a lot more guys compared to them, because they had obviously went last year and they had quite a few repeat names, and I wasn't just like lining people that I had to meet at what times. I was colouring it in. I had to be everywhere at once on both days, um, which was just stupid. Um, and you know what? I didn't want to worry myself because I knew that worrying would be just stupid. Because I don't want to say I'm an experienced convention goer, but I've been to London LFCC, I've been to WrestleMania Access, I know how it works. You gotta blag it as you do. Um, so yeah, but there we go. So the train ride was just over an hour. We got into Birmingham International train station, and Simon was getting there 15 minutes after us. So we get a text from Simon when we're at the train station. Oh, meet you at the monorail. So like the monorail, okay. So we go over to the monorail, and we're waiting there, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. Um, and there's this like advertisement. Oh, this is what's before the airport, and this is what's after the airport, like shops and restaurants and stuff. So I'm like looking at this thing and like, because obviously we were thinking like places to eat and stuff over the weekend, because there's no way we were going to eat at the Hilton, because their prices for food is just beyond expensive. Um, Excuse me. And the one place Dave would go all weekend was the Weatherspoons. And he's like, oh look, they have a Weatherspoons. Yeah, we'll go Spoons. Spoons is cheap, it's cheerful, it's great. We'll go here. Um, and so this is probably where I'll get out my camera. If you've seen the other video, I go, I'm with Dave from Crawley. Now the Crawley gag with Dave. Dave doesn't live in Crawley. He lives just outside of Crawley in Dormans. But his closest like town is Crawley. So Dave's from Crawley, and it was a running gag from London Film and Comic Con next year, last year even, and it's gonna stick. It will stick, Dave. I'm sorry, it will. But I came up with the name of the Crawley Creeper on the spot. Now, Dave's reaction is somewhat amazing because he just didn't know how to react to it. He wanted to say something witty in response, but couldn't think of anything. So he's just like laughing to himself, going all red, and it was just an amazing moment. Um, and and then Simon gets off the monorail. We're like, yay, Simon's here. And we're all together. This is the first time I've seen Simon since London Film and Comic Con. So it was great meeting up with him again. Because obviously we've been speaking for weeks about this now and about budgets and this and that, and obviously this is like the first in 5 cons that we're doing over the next 3-month period, which is just insane. Um, so we didn't start, walking and talking on the way to the hotel. This was about 12:30 in the morning, so about midday now, and we couldn't check in till 3 o'clock. So we go to the hotel anyway, see if we can check in. Now I had no idea that I could actually, because I went to, this is the same hotel that PowerCon was at last February, and I had no idea that I could walk from the train station to the Hilton Hotel before. No idea. Uh, and if I knew, it would have been such a better trip last year because I barely ate that weekend because I refused to pay Hilton hotel food prices. But anyway, so we get to the hotel. I was like, can we check in? No, we can't check in yet. But we dropped our bags off at the concierge, and we went to Resort World. Now, Resort World is a shopping complex, which is just across the lake from the Hilton. Now, it's not a big lake; it's a 5-minute walk. This wasn't there. They were building this when I was at PowerCon as well, because even though the convention was held at the Hilton, registration was at the shopping centre at Resort World. What? Why? Why not have registration at the place of the convention? It's ridiculous. Asylum, which is Rogue Events, it's another convention for, I think it's for Vampire Diaries. I'm not entirely sure, but that was held at the same place last week, and registration was held at Resort World. And last week, during registration, they had to close Resort World down because the amount of people that had shown up to register. So this time around, they said, right, because everyone was split into groups and each group had a letter, and they said, right, these are your letters, whether A to B, A to C, sharp at midday, D to F, sharp at 2:30, and whatnot. Now I was Q, and Q wasn't supposed to register till 5:30 that night, whereas Simon and Dave were allowed to register at 2:30. Now we went to Resort World just for shits and giggles, see what was going on, and we went upstairs because registration was upstairs. And there was a guy outside the registration area. He said, "Oh, you here to register?" You're like, "Go, yeah, we're going through." But we're queue, and he's there. He's like, "No, it's fine. It's empty now. Go through." I'm like, "Oh, well, result." So we walked in there, and it's a snaking queue. So obviously we're snaking through the barriers and whatnot. We get to the registration desk, ID and email. So I show them the email, get my ID. Here's your lanyard, your registration pack. Hey, we're registered. And then they said, oh, go over to them queues over there to buy your extras, your autographs and photos and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, this is where all the queuing started. This was such a slow process, it was unreal. There was about 4 queues going on and about 4 tills. But we were about 10th in line and we was waiting for a good 40 minutes to be seen. I mean, it's not that hard, right? You tell them what you want, you pay them, you take your tickets. Shouldn't be that hard of a process. But it was. This is Simon and Dave had to go to the pre-order desk because they had managed to pre-order some stuff. I didn't because they never got to me in time for me to pre-order stuff, unfortunately. And I was then partnered up with one of Simon's friends called Adam. Nice kid, seemed great. So I was queuing up with him, and he was telling me like what he was getting and everything, and I was telling him what I was getting, and we were just sorting out a list and whatnot. And then Dave and Simon came back into the queue, but they were like 10 behind me. And there was just like this thing, because Rogue Events had started doing this loyalty card thing, where for every £50 you spend, you get a stamp, and there's 10 stamps to a card, and if you fill a card, you are able to redeem it for a photo op with a regular guest. For quality, I'll fill that up with ease. So we asked the lady at the front, loyalty cards in effect. They said they are in effect, but you can't use them at this con. And then they said, no, you can use them at this con, but only on the Sunday. And then I'm like, what? And so I'm shouting at Simon and Dave, who were 10 people back. They went, no, you can't use them, you can't do this. And it's just stupid because they've only got a 10-month expiry date on them. From the moment you get it, you allowed you 10 months. I have no intention of going back to a Rogue event within 10 months. So that's just silly. But when I got to the desk and I told her what I wanted, I ended up spending £665, might I add, on photos and autographs. I know. But just look at what I got. Come on. And I was able to redeem a loyalty card on the spot, which was my Tom Cavanagh photo. And Tom Cavanagh's photo was £40. So I saved myself £40, which was great. So then I went off to the side, sat down on the floor with Adam, because obviously now I had to wait for Dave and Simon. And I'm sorting out my tickets, I'm looking through my registration pack, I'm going through the program, looking at the free autograph tickets, because you got 14 free autographs with entry, which is great, because obviously I won't use them all. So what I'm thinking, who am I going to use all these on? Because like there's 14 guests to use your 14 free autos on, but they're not like signature to those 14 guests. I could use 3 on one, 2 on the other. I didn't have to actually meet all of them, which is great. So then David and Simon again, they come over, we're sorting out, and then we get like told to hush along. So like we got up, we left the registration hall, and there was a Costa Coffee right next door. So we went and sat down and just like discussed and like what was happening and everything. At this point, it was near on 3 o'clock. So we decided to go back to the hotel so we could check in. Now, on our way to the hotel, obviously we're still at Resort World at this point. There's a Cineworld in Resort World. There's a Cineworld in Resort World. And we had always intended to go see Civil War. Because Simon hadn't seen it at that point. I think it was Dave's 4th time of seeing it. And it would have been my 2nd. So we booked our tickets anyway to see Civil War. Because honestly, like, where we had planned to do all this like later on in the evening. Because I wasn't supposed to register till 5:30. But we had got everything done by 2, I think. 2, half 2. Which was amazing. So we had like the entire afternoon to get everything done. The that well to get, what to do. So we went to see. Well, we booked our tickets for that for the. I think we got the 4 o'clock showing. I think we got the 4 o'clock showing. Um, so between now and 4 o'clock, we went back to the hotel. We checked in. Obviously, Dave had his own room, and me and Simon had ours. I think we were like near on opposite ends of the hotel. Um, and at that point, we were actually scouting out the hotel, like see what the distance between things are, see where different rooms are and everything. That was hard. We had no idea where things were. So me and Simon went up to our room, and it was great. The bathroom was nice, bed was nice, TV was on, which is weird. We walked into a room and the TV was on. And one thing you always check: is there a Bible? Open the door by the bedside cabinet. There's a Bible, lovely jubbly. Bit of midnight reading. But one thing we were like, where's the kettle? Now, me and Simon had no intention of using a kettle at all. No intention. But for a Hilton, you would expect to see a kettle with complimentary tea, coffee, sugar and milk. And shortbread biscuits. Because that's how it should be done. And we're like, there's no kettle. What's going on? There's no shortbread biscuits. So 10 minutes later, we get a call from Dave. And Dave's like, I'm locked out my hotel room. And so I was like, what do you mean you locked out your hotel room? Well, I put my key card in, he goes, and the bolt is on the door. So, there's no one in the room, but somehow the last people to leave the room has managed to shut it that hard that they bolted the door. And now no one can get in. So Dave's then gone back down to reception, and he's like, "Come look, I'm trying to get into my room, but what am I meant to do?" So he's then waiting at his room for a maintenance man to show up, and obviously, we got the cinema to get to. So we call up Dave and go, look, bring your stuff up to the room, our room, and we'll go cinema. He's like, no, that's right, maintenance man's here. I'll just wait. So the maintenance man had to take the lock off to replace it. And so Dave leaves his stuff in his room while the maintenance man replaces his lock, and we all went to cinema. We was running about 20 minutes late at this point. The movie had started. But lucky enough, we had got to the cinema, and it was on the last trailer before the movie. So, great timing. Now, Civil War, Civil War's amazing, as it is. It's a great movie, so we're not going to get into Civil War. But Simon thought it was great and everything. Now, obviously you get lanyards for the convention. Me and Simon didn't take ours off, even though it wasn't convention day. We wore it everywhere that night. And Dave's like, why are you wearing your lanyards? We were like, why not? You're the odd one out, Dave. So after the cinema, we're like, okay, food. And Dave's like, yeah, let's go Spoons. We were like, no. Excuse me. We were like, let's check out what's like around here. And me and Simon had spotted that there was a TGI Fridays here. We were like, yeah, let's go TGI Fridays. Now, Dave's not a massive fan of TGI Fridays. But we kind of bullied him into it. We're like, no, we're going to TGI Fridays. So we ended up going to TGI Fridays. And it was amazing, because TGI Fridays always is. But I always remember on the first night, the waiter was amazing. Like, every time, because obviously TGI Fridays, it's refillable drinks. And I always go through them like no tomorrow. And he would just come over, pick up a glass, fill it up, straight back down, boom. Honest, great guy. And, the food in TGI is always great. Always have a laugh. What I remember the most really about that night is the light on our table was extremely bright. And me and Simon were just like trying to position the menus around it so it wouldn't blind us. That was great. Now I had a starter, and so did Simon. Dave didn't. We had the mains. And then Dave would be the awkward one and have a dessert. Awkward Dave, you have your dessert. And then it was like, I think about 9 o'clock at this point. So by that point, we went back to the room and Legends of Tomorrow was on the previous night. And I watched it that morning. But I was going to watch it again regardless. David and Simon, so me, David and Simon watched Legends of Tomorrow. And if you haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow yet, why not? Because, spoiler, Captain Cold dies. No! Because it was such a great episode. Because obviously, everyone wanted White Canary, and Captain Cold to get together because their on-screen chemistry was amazing. And they kissed and it was great, and then he died. And it was like, no. And Simon was in this horrible, this mood regardless, because he wanted a Stephen photo again, a Stephen Amell photo. Excuse me, I've got the sniffles right now. He wanted another Stephen Amell photo, but Dave talked him out of it, and he was just in a bit of a mood because he's like, "I want a Stephen Amell photo. I look horrible with this one." And then he's like, and then Captain Cold died. He was like, "No, now my mood's just even more terrible now, and I just want there." It was just hilarious. And that happened. And it's weird because when you're with mates, you just talk for hours and end. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I think we were just talking about how much we had spent today. We were because I laid out 650, Dave did 4 something, Simon did 4 something. And I'm like, well, we've spent near on $2,000 on paper. That's what you've bought today. You spent $2,000 on paper. Well done. Literally, that is it. But we all retired to bed, I think, about 11ish. Because we knew we had to be up early. About 6ish, because we had to get down for breakfast and then get the ball rolling and stuff. And so we went to bed. The beds are comfy, whatnot. And then blah, blah. Next morning, up, shower, dressed, downstairs for breakfast. Breakfast was great. There was food. And then the con itself was split into 2 halls. Hall 1, Dave and Simon were in Hall 1 because obviously they had booked earlier than me, and I was in Hall 2. So I went to Hall 2, and there was an introduction thing and by a guy. And he said, "Oh, these are the rules, no videoing, this, that, and whatnot." I'm like, okay, cool. And then here's John Barrowman. Hooray, John Barrowman's here. In Hall 1, they had Stephen Amell as their opening panel. I had John Barrowman. I love John Barrowman. John Barrowman's great. I've loved him since Doctor Who. And oh my god, John Barrowman is such a funny guy. He's just an all-round entertainer, and he's not ashamed about anything. That's what I love about John Barrowman. He will do anything for a laugh. And he reminds me of me. I will do anything for a laugh. I will tell a story. He will embarrass himself for a laugh. Because he understands that if there's a smile on other people's faces, he's done his job. He's done his job. Well done, fella. Well done, man. I respect you. And the stories he was coming out with was he was talking about his husband. I don't know if he's married, or his boyfriend, or his husband's penis on Facebook. And he was answering questions. There was one question that really stood out. He was asked, and he was like, "Who's the better kisser, David Tennant or Stephen Amell?" And he just gave this person the dirtiest look in the world, and she swore at them. He gave them the middle finger, and he started to describe how different they are at kissing him, and I'm just like, wow, this is getting kind of surreal, and a bit too in depth for my liking. But it was still funny regardless, and he was it was just an amazing guy just to see him on the stage. But that happened, and after the first panel, which is with the big name, that's it. The con had started. Boom, you go. Now, Rogue Events runs very weirdly because, like I said, each group have a letter, and every letter is called somewhere else at certain times. So I was Q, and Simon and Dave were F. Now, to know where you have to go at certain times, you have to follow Rogue Events on Twitter, and they will send you alerts through Twitter. And I got an alert. Oh yeah, groups PQR go to the pavilion, which was the autograph hall, the premium hall, autograph hall. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna go over there. And Simon and Dave were over there, and I think they had managed to blag themselves in. I'm not too sure, but I was there, and in like the three that were there, it was who was it? I think it was John, Emily. No, it was Emily. It was Emily, Brandon, and David. David, and I would meet all three. So I'm in the queue for Brendan the Roof at this point, um, and at this point I'm like still panicking a bit because Rogue run on this rule that everything, if you were to bring merchandise, it had to be official merchandise, official release. So you couldn't just like pick up an image off the internet and print it yourself, because it had to have copyright info on it and everything, which was really hard because there's like no Legends of Tomorrow merchandise at all. There's barely any Arrow merchandise, Flash merchandise. There's nothing. Um, so I had this Legends of Tomorrow poster printed, and I whacked it in front of him, and I gave the person next to him like my autograph ticket, and he's like, "Oh hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good, man. Like how are you?" He's like, "Oh, I got a bit of cold, but all good." Which I think I got is cold, which is great. Apologies for the sniffles. And he signed it. He signed my poster, Brandon Roof, on the Atom, which is great. Um, but it was pretty much a conveyor belt system, which I pretty much expected. Um, but it's just, when you're in these queues, you can't really get annoyed because you're still going to meet the person and whatnot. And then when I go next, I went to David Mazouz, who's, if you don't know that, it's Bruce Wayne from Gotham. Now, I thought it was a bit weird meeting a 15-year-old kid, but at the same point, you're like, this 15-year-old kid's worth more of us here combined. So, you know what? I'm going to meet him. And I have to say, he was the nicest person I think I met all weekend. Because for a 15-year-old kid, he was very professional. He was just happy to be there, happy to meet fans. I mean, a 15-year-old kid has fans. Yeah, that says a lot, really, doesn't it? You got to admit. And like, I stuck the Gotham poster in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good, man. How you doing?" He's like, "I'm good, I'm good." Where do you want me to sign this? I'm like, "Oh, I'll just sign it here." He's like, "Oh, do you want me to sign it Bruce Wayne?" I went, "Oh man, if you do that, that'd be amazing." So he signed David Mazouz. He wrote Bruce Wayne, and he did the bat symbol. He drew the bat symbol. I'm like, that is like the nicest autograph I'm gonna get all weekend. And I thanked him, and oh mate, he was so humble, such a humble kid. I'm so happy I met him. Um, and we all met him. And then obviously, then I went on to Emily Bett Rickards. Uh, she was not what I expected her to be. She's like completely different to Felicity. Um, she, well, she was a bit loud, a bit. Um, she's really young, and then obviously I remember that she's only like 23. I'm older than her. It's not right. Um, and like she was cool. She like didn't really like look up a lot. I said, "Oh, because I don't really ask the guys any questions. I literally when I ever meet like a guest or anything, I say the exact same thing. Oh, how you doing? I'm good. Oh, enjoying your weekend? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's something right here. Good. Yeah. Oh, enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir. And that is literally the conversation I have with every single person I ever meet. I don't know if it's because of nerves or whatnot, but that is generally it. Um, and she doesn't even sign it Emily Bett Rickard. She signs it Emily Bett. I don't know because this was actually a genuine conversation we got into, me, Simon, Davis, David, me, Simon, David, Dave. This is a genuine conversation. The Emily Bett, the Bet bit, is it her first name Double Barrel, or is it her last name is Double Barrel, or is it a middle name? That is genuine conversation we got into, which we never actually found out. I don't know. Honest to God, the jibber jabber we got up to was stupid. Um, And then at that point, I met all three guys, and the tweet came through from Rogue Events. Oh, PQR, go to the Warwick, which is the hall where all the free autographs are being held. So then I'm like, right, I'm out of here. Bosh. I went by Simon and Dave because they hadn't been called and I had. So I went over there, went to the free auto queue. And man, wow, I walked into this room and it was sweating. I was sweating so hard in this room, it was unreal. Um, Now, I just tried to get everyone I could in this room because obviously I needed everyone in this room. Um, I can't remember in what order I got people. I'm trying to look at the list now. Ah, that's right. So the first person I actually went to was Corey Michael Smith. It was Corey Michael Smith. He plays the Riddler. He plays Ed, Edward Nigma on Gotham. Now there was no such thing as a short queue, right? There's no such thing as a short queue in the free auto hall. These are the autographs that you get within your entry package. Now, out of everyone was in this hall, people in this hall were like Franz Dermer, Corey Michael Smith, Ciara Renee, Sean Pertwee, Willa Holland, Falk Henshaw, Daniel Panabaker, and Tom Kavanagh were in this hall. So it's quite a few names. The most popular people in this hall were Daniel Panabaker, Tom Kavanagh, and Falk Henshaw. Falk Henshaw might add the most irrelevant person in the current DC TV universe that was at this con. Had one of the longest lines. No idea why. So I met Corey Michael Smith first, and again I had the standard conversation. Now, I handed him a green pen. He's like, "Oh, green pen." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool, yeah." He was like really impressed by my green pen. Okay, got on the Gotham poster. Moved along. Then I went to Franz Dirt. No, I didn't. I went over to Ciara Renee, Kendra. Standard conversation. Um, honestly, queues and queues and queues. And then obviously I went to Frank Henshaw, and then I went on to Franz Dermer, and then Sean Pertwee, and Tom Kavanagh. Now Tom Kavanagh was an interesting one. Tom Kavanagh. Now I put the flash poster in front of him. I gave him the blue pen. Now, literally, I had no one on the flash poster at this point. He could have written his autograph anywhere. He wrote it on the bottom of the poster on the edge, like a dick. Who does that? So I walked away a bit annoyed. And then I went to Danielle Panabaker. Now Danielle just seemed really timid and really shy, and I think she suffers from anxiety. I think I read that somewhere. I'm not too sure. But I had the flash poster and I had a Killer Frost lenticular comic book, and I went to the concierge, chaperone. We'll call him assistant. Went to the assistant, gave him two thingies. I was like, "Oh, do you want this personalised?" I went, "Oh, on the poster, no, but on the book to Robbie." And she went, "Okay." And then Danielle started writing out Robbie on the poster, and then she started went to Robbie on the poster. I'm like, "No," and then she's like, then she looks at me, and then she looks at the poster, and she looks at me like, "Should I just do it anyway now?" I went, "No, just write over it. It's fine. Just write over it. It'll be great. It'll be fine." You could see she was like starting to pack a little bit. Like, no, it's fine. Just write over it, or do a drawing, or do whatever you want. Don't care. Just do something with it. So she's like, "Okay," and she stared at it for about 20 seconds. Then she just wrote her name over it like nothing had happened. And she said, "Oh, do you want me to sign it, Caitlin Snow or Killer Frost?" I went, "Lady's choice." And she was like, "Okay." And she gave me a bit of a look, and then she thought about it for a little while, and then she wrote Caitlin Snow. And I'm like, was that really that difficult? Was it really that difficult to choose? And I'm like, thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend. Like, thank you. You know, being polite as you do. And I walked away, and I had got everybody in that room, which was great. But I was in that room literally a good 2 hours, 2 and a bit hours, um, and it was midday by this point. So um, it was the lunch hour break. So Dave, and Simon went back to the room for I think like 40 minutes. We met back on stage. We were like discussing what went on. Simon and Dave had been called for nothing that entire morning. Absolutely nothing. Um, Absolutely nothing. And they were getting really annoyed. Because obviously I'd like knocked out 10 autographs at this point, and they'd been called for nothing. Um, so we went back downstairs, and oh, another alert from Rogue Events. PQNR back to the Warwick, because the three autographs had swapped out at this point. So I've got the next 7 guests. So I'm like, bye guys. I'm going back into the autograph room. And obviously on that day, on then in that room, it was then um, Colton Hayes, Kanan Lonsdale, David Ramsey, Charlotte Ross, and a few others who I didn't meet. Um, so obviously I'm trying to work my way through them. Dave Ramsey, nice guy. Colin Hayes, massive queue, absolutely massive queue. Asking, "Oh yeah, how's your week going?" He's like, "Oh great, I love being over here." And I gave him the green pen. Gave him the green pen. "Man, this is a really cool pen. Thanks. It's the green pen. People love the green pen." And I don't know what I said, but even his PA laughed at me, and I'm like, "Why are people laughing at me?" Um, Now, I didn't get everybody in that room, unfortunately. I was missing Charlotte Ross. Charlotte Ross was the one girl I actually really wanted to meet. Um, but she kept on disappearing. But I had to actually rush off because I was getting called for a photo at that point. I can't remember who the first photo was. I think the first photo I had gone for was Franz Dermer. It was Franz Dermer. Jax, to you and me from Legends of Tomorrow. So I walked into the photograph hall. I think I was with Simon and Dave at this point. I'm not too sure. Walked to the autograph hall. Franz Dermer was there. Uh, so I got a photograph. Happy days. Walked up to him. He's like, "You right, my love?" I'm like, "Hey, did you just call me your love? I'm a dude. Behave." Now, Franz, you can tell this was like Franz's first job as an actor. Because obviously he got the big payday, and he's just gone all out. He's just like flaunting it. Yeah, big massive sovereign medallion, massive puffer jacket with like fluffy hood, flat cap, a cap like typical people wear from London, and he just genuinely looked like he just dropped his first album. He was on the Billboard Top 10 chart. He was on it like a car bonnet. Yeah, such a nice guy. Happy to meet him. Um, and obviously, now the whole printout situation of your photos was just ridiculous. Like we queue up, we get the photo taken. We'd have to walk up like 2 steps along a balcony and then stretch over a balcony to get the picture from the person who was doing the printing. Wow, and that was in Photo Studio 3. So got that done, walked back out, um, and then I was called. Was I called for? I was called for Charlotte Ross, I think. Um, but then it was postponed. Charlotte Ross was postponed till 2 o'clock. So me, Simon, and Dave, I think we did something. I can't remember what we did. Yeah, I don't think they got called for anything as well. Again, so at this point, I got called in back into the pavilion, which is the premium autograph hall, and I got my John Barrowman auto and my Stephen the Mill auto. And obviously, I just did the standard. Oh, have a nice weekend. Go to much this weekend? Oh, okay. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, lovely time. And I got that done. And so I had knocked off like 14 autographs in a day. I literally had barely next to no one the next day to get. And then by that point, we like, oh, let's go back to Photo Shoot Studio 3, because it's 2 o'clock now. Charlotte Ross should be doing her photos. Went to Photo Studio 3 and the doors are closed. Like, oh, wonder why. Oh, it must be delayed. So we're hanging around outside the doors, and then, someone comes out of the door. And like, hang on, she's doing her photo shoot in there, so we just barged through and joined the queue. And then like, one of the stewards are like, whoa, what's going on? This photo session's closed. I'm like, what do you mean it's closed? You didn't call anyone. And so they're like, they were just stopping people coming in, but at that point we had already joined the queue, without them realising. So we managed to get our Charlotte Ross picture. Lovely woman, absolutely lovely woman. Loved the picture, and it was great. Got that done. So at that point, Dave and Simon were actually finally called to the Warwick Autograph Hall, so they both went there, and they did it. And I had nothing to do at this point. I wasn't being called for anything. So I think I went to the hotel room for like half an hour to ditch the posters. And then I got called for Daniel Pennebaker. So I went to that. I went to the Daniel Pennebaker shoot. I got in there, lovely. Got the shoot done. And Dave was there. He got his shoot done. Simon arrived late and was told, no, come back tomorrow. So he missed out on half his autographs that day, and he was told no at Daniel Pennebaker's photo shoot queue. But that wasn't the only one. He was also told no at Colton Hayes' photo shoot queue because he arrived late. And you don't want to miss out on Colton Hayes' photo shoot queue, especially when you're Simon. So that happened, and then we were just I think then the other two went back to the autograph hall to get more autographs. And again, I think I was just moseying around for a bit. And then we all showed up at the Gotham Trio photo shoot, because we were told that David Mazouz would do single ops at the trio shoot. So we arrived there and they were told, no, come back tomorrow. We're only doing the trio shoot. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. So then we were just hanging around for the Hawks duo shoot, Ciara and Falk. Now, Ciara Renee, right? We do not know how to pronounce her name. Every time I said Ciara, Simon would say Kiara, Dave would say Kara, and then we just end up saying Ciara, Kara, Ciara, Kendra, because that's just like no one knew how to pronounce her name. And we're like, yeah, her, and like so we're in the queue. They called Ciara singles first, and they went in, and then they called for the duo shoot. So we went in, and we're waiting, and Ciara's there waiting, and they're playing music. Ciara's just there, just grooving along. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And then like Falk showed up, and then like he's dancing with Ciara, and they're having a real good time, and they're having great chemistry, and we're just like, this is really cool seeing them like this in their nature, being comfortable and stuff. And that's really nice, and it really lightened up the spirits, everyone's mood and spirits. This is the best bit though, and then like, and I'm like, oh, I really want a hug from Ciara, and then the lady behind me hugged me, and I'm just like, and then I turned around and I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we were just like, come on, man. And we gave each other a big hug. See, giving hugs to strangers is amazing. It's amazing. Like, this is how queues are supposed to run. Just give out hugs, spread the love. No one gets, annoyed with anything. And it's just great. Happy days. So, well, we're there, we're like grooving in the queue. There's hugs going around. People are loving each other. It's happy days. Um, and like we're just waiting at this point for like the shoot to actually start. And Dave was like getting really annoyed about something at this point. I think he's getting annoyed because how little he got done. And I'm just like, Dave, give me a hug. You need a hug. He's like, I'm not giving you a hug. I went, Dave, I want a hug. And then again, the lady behind me gave me a hug. And I'm like, come on, get another hug in. And then we're like, there we go. And then like, we've now, the queue started to move now. And like, I was head jiving, like put my head side to side. Well, yeah, this is what was playing. I think it was like Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. Sexual Healing. Sexual. Yeah. And obviously the hug lady behind me, like we had did it where we were like in sync, but like opposite. We was like, yeah. And then obviously Ciara and Falk saw this, and then they was like, yeah. We were like, yeah. And then Falk started doing the head jive, and we were just like, yeah. And this is like generally how it went down, and it was such a nice moment. It seemed to be like the only nice moment, in all fairness. And like that happened. Um, Wait, wasn't there? No, that's right. Simon and Dave had got their Emily Bett Rickards photo that day as well. I didn't. I was getting mine the next day. Wow, I completely forgot that. Simon, yeah, that's right. Simon was really upset because he thought his picture looked horrible. And he thought his picture with Charlotte Ross looked horrible as well. And it wasn't. They looked perfectly fine, Simon. Stop fretting. Um, Now, that was literally the last photo shoot of the day. So we then went back up to the room and we were just discussing how the day went. We were like comparing photos and everything. And this is where like all of the insults started to happen. So Dave, Dave just started cracking up as we were going through photos, and he was just like, "What are you laughing at?" He's like, "Falk's got a lazy eye." Like, what? So I looked at my Hawks photo, and Falk does have a lazy eye, and, and Dave would just crack up every time he would look at the photo, and I was like, he should be a pirate with an eye patch, and then we just came to the name of Patches, and so Falk Henshaw is now nicknamed Patches. Um, and this is the shit that we come out with. So you got Patches over here. You got Franz who just dropped his first album and hit the number 1 chart because he just like spent his fortune on a big fuck off medallion. Um, and it was just like, see, it's like stuff like that where you just like make fun out of everything, which makes good memories. And we would just like talk for like a good 2 hours prior to anything. And at that point, we were like really hungry because obviously we hadn't eaten anything since breakfast. So we're like, oh, we'll go spoons because like Dave really wanted to go spoons. So we come out of our room. We go walking towards the elevator, and out come the elevator come these two girls with boxes upon boxes of Domino's pizza, and we was like, oh. So we then look at each other, and then I decided to go and chase the girls. I literally went, ladies, where did you get the Domino's from? We had it delivered. They looked at me worryingly. Of course, you got like this, you got this fat man running towards you asking you where you got your food. You're going to be a bit nervous. And we're like, oh, okay, thank you. So I then walked back to the boys and went, pizza? And they both went, they looked at each other and went, yeah. So we went back to the room. So we left the room, just come back to the room, because now we're going for pizza. And at that point, obviously, the big thing at that time was the Eurovision Song Contest was on that night. So I was like, yeah, Eurovision. And Dave's like anti-Eurovision. But me and someone like, no, I've got to watch Eurovision. So I got my laptop and, we're ordering pizza. Came to 60 quid between the three of us, £20. And we had this massive feast of pizza. It was unreal. So we're eating pizza. We're watching the Eurovision, taking the piss out of the Eurovision. And I thought, the one thing I remember about the Eurovision is there was this performance. I can't remember what country it's from, but there was this guy, this background dancer, just came out of nowhere, all in black, started dancing around the singer, and like, oh look, it's Patches, irrelevant, just like him, because he is so relevant, it's unreal. um, and that got a few laughs. Um, and we'd eaten, the Eurovision Song Contest ended, and we were all just shattered at this point because obviously we'd eaten a big meal, which gets you tired anyway, and obviously we'd been on our feet all day in hot, sweaty rooms, and it was just like ugh. So Dave had gone to his. It was about 10:30 at this point. Dave had gone to his room, um, and Simon was on the phone to his mum. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna lay down. And apparently, I just went out. I just went out. I was out by that. Um, and I woke up at 2 o'clock with a really, really, really dry mouth. Because obviously, you've just eaten a large pizza with cheese, lots of cheese, stuffed crust, chicken bits, a litre and a half of cherry coke, dry mouth, insane dry mouth. So I got up, went to the toilet, got a glass of water. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Went back to bed, laid down. 5 minutes later, nah, dry mouth, need no drink. And it's at that point that Simon went, "You right, bud?" I'm like, yeah. Did I wake you? No, I was already awake. I'm like, okay. Have you been asleep? Yeah. You just woke up? Yeah. Like, oh. And then we just randomly started talking at 2 a.m. in the morning. This is like the thing now. For the next hour, we were talking about everything. I think like it was the worry. Excuse me. It was the worry of the schedule and how much we had to get done. See, on the Sunday, because obviously it's the last day to get things done, Simon and Dave were worried about their autographs, and obviously I was worried about my photos. Because I had I think 2 autographs to get, but I had 11 photos to do. And they still had 11 autographs to get. It was insane. We literally had swapped roles for that day. But I think we were just worried about the schedule. That's what kept us up, and obviously the fact that we had drank a litre and a half each of cherry coke before we went to bed. I think that sugar didn't help either. Um, so we was up. We were talking about that, and then we just I don't know how we got into this conversation. We were talking about the relevancy of DCTV, and obviously how Supergirl's in the comics of the fray, and then we got on to the DC movie universe and how irrelevant they're trying to make the TV universe and everything about where everything that's wrong with the DC the DC cinematic universe, and just the first hour in the dark, my ad. And then I decided to actually turn the light on, and then we just talked about everything and anything. I think for the next hour. And at that point, I think Simon was wide awake. But I said to myself, I need to go back to bed, because if I don't go back to bed and I get a couple hours more sleep, it's going to be a nightmare day. And it was going to be a nightmare day. So I managed to go back to sleep for 2 hours. When I woke up at, I think, 6, Simon had already had a shower. He was up, he was raring to go. He was in a good mood. He was great. So I got up, I had a shower, and then we went for breakfast, and then we told Dave the story of us being up at 2 a.m. And this is another thing, actually. Dave's bathroom had no door. And in his words, he said that the way he described it was he felt like he was taking a shit in his living room. That is generally the words he used to describe his room. And Dave has some. I don't want to say he has some awkward traditions, but Dave's traditions is he has a shower and a cup of tea before bed. Me and Simon found that very weird. I don't know why. It's because me and Simon were morning people. We're like, yeah, shower before we do the day. shower before the day. So yeah, and then we went out for breakfast, and someone's like, "No, I don't want to eat anything." The pizza's like this to me, pizza's like that to me. I'm like, "Simon, eat something, otherwise you'll regret it later. It'll kick you start your day. It'll be good." So we ate, went back to the room, got our gear, um, and um, got our gear, and then went back to the halls, safety thing again, and then zoom, I went straight to the pavilion because the only autograph I had to get was Charlotte Ross. But my first photo shoot was at 10:30, so I went to the guy. Look, I just need one autograph from here. Please let me in because I've got photo shoots the rest of the day. No, you get called in with your group like the rest of them. I'm like, you evil bastard! I need one autograph and you won't let me in. That's just mean. Oh no, no! Before that, we actually queued up. We queued up at the ticket office to try and get a priority pass because we were really scared that we were going to get everything done and what to do. So we're in the ticket office, which opened early, and there were 50 priority passes on sale, and we were getting really nervous at this point because we thought we weren't going to get one, even though we weren't that far back in the queue. But at the 3 queues that were there in the room, we had to pick the queue that was card only. There wasn't a sign that was card only, by the way. Because if everyone would pay by card, so the queues went cash, card, cash. So if you got to the front of the cash queue and you wanted to pay by card, you had to cut in front of the card queue. So we were the slowest moving queue in the world. So when we finally got to the front of the queue, like, "Oh, priority pass, please." "No, sorry, sold out." "What?" "Yeah, we literally just sold the last one to the person in front of you." I'm like, "Are you for real right now?" So we started to panic at that point. We were like, "We're not going to get everything done. We're going to miss out things. This is not good." But you know what? We did it. We did it. We just got through the day. So we split up again. Photo shoot area 3. Excuse me. Photo shoot area 3 had shut down for Sunday, and it was just 1 and 2. Now 1 and 2 were actually in the same room because it was a big room. So knowing that I had to get 11 autographs that day, because like when you get called into the room, they check your lanyard because your lanyard's got your group letter on it to see if you are to go in. Luckily, I was called in at 10:30, so I went at 10:30. I had my first photo. I can't remember who with. Really can't remember who with. I think it was John Barrowman. I'm not entirely. No, Brandon Roof. No, who was it? Emily Bett. No. Oh God, love me. Who was it? It was Emily Bett. It was Emily Bett. Yes, it was Emily Bett because it went. They were doing the Stephen was in there all day long because he was doing duos and whatnot. So Emily Bett. So queued up at Emily Bett's queue. Got a photo done. Happy days. And you know what? I didn't leave the room. I didn't leave the room for 6 hours. Right, because I knew once I left that room, I would not be able to come back in unless my group was called. So I went to the back of the hall, and I just sat there. I just sat there all day, and I was at the front of the queue for every bastard one. So I was in there for Emily Bett Rickards, and then I was in there for Stephen Amell, and then I was in there for Brandon Roof, and then I was in there for Tom Kavanagh. I was in there for Colton Hayes. I was in there for Katie Cassidy. Katie Cassidy, who didn't show up until the Sunday, might I add. She was supposed to be there Saturday as well, but she tweeted out that she tore her bicep and was in hospital. Yeah, okay, love. You got drunk on the Friday night, didn't you? Yes, you did. You missed your train, didn't you, love? Yes, of course you did. Because you was moving your arm perfectly fine on the Sunday. Torn bicep. Like they're going to release you after a day with a torn bicep and not have your arm in the sling. Behave yourself. And then obviously I had a photo with David Ramsey and Sean Pertwee and David Mazouz, and this was all happening like in the one day. Now, literally everyone, Simon and Dave, they were off getting their autographs all day. All day they were getting their autographs. And the one thing I think I'll take away from this was the John Barrowman one. I was in the queue for John Barrowman, and he came in into the room, and he stood on two chairs. He was like, "Morning, everyone." Like, "Morning." Like, right, I will do whatever you want in these photos. I will grab your balls. You can grab my balls. I will grab your boobs. Grab my ass. I don't care. Just please do not touch my face. Do anything with my face. But we will do anything. We'll have a laugh. And like, it was like, yeah. So obviously, okay. I've never seen a man touch so many women's bosoms in all my life. The amount of girls that wanted the gay man to touch their boobs in photos was unreal. Honest to God. I wish I was him. Just not gay. Um, Now, that was great. There was a lot. I've got a hug from John Barrowman. I ain't gonna argue with that. Now, Emily Bett Rickards, in her photo shoots, every single photo I've seen from her, it's the same pose. She just seems like a bit of a cardboard cutout. Um, but that's fine. I still got a picture of her, so it's great. Um, Tom Cavanaugh was great as well. He was a great guy. See, all his photos look great because, again, this is where we took the piss out of the photos. It was like, we were just like, he just looks like someone's cool dad. He's like, yeah, I could get you some beers from the shop. Like, yeah, here's an ounce of weed. Go on. You're like, what? The photos just look like it's graduation day, and here's me and my dad, which is just a great picture. Um, Brandon Roof, great guy. Um, on the Friday, Simon had a packet of Werther's Original, and obviously Werther's Original from England, like it's an English thing, I think. Werther's Original has been known to be a paedophile sweet. Like it's what you tempt kids with as a paedophile. Um, so we just came up with the joke that they're pedo sweets. We were just like, and John, he like, oh yeah, it's like I was always like looking at my picture of John, like I look like oh it's Uncle John, and he looks like he's got some Werther's originals for me. Like wow, because it just looked like that. I apologise to anyone that's offended by this, and if you are a fan of Werther's originals, I do apologise once more. Um, and then it was like, oh, and then Colton. It was like, and then it was like the Willa, Colton, and Katie triple shoot, and then it was the Willa singles, and there was the Willa and Colton duos, and there was the Colton singles. Like, yeah, Colton, no, he was last. He was last of the day. It was Katie Cassidy. Yeah, because Katie Cassidy had shown up, and she had to get through 2 days worth of photos in one. So obviously, I'm front of the queue. I haven't left the hall yet. So I got my Katie Cassidy shoot. Great. Um, and then it was like, oh, who's next? Who do I get shooting next? Um, no, Stephen Amell was before that. That's right. Stephen Amell was before that. And then and then like so Stephen Amell and then Katie Cassidy. It's really hard to remember what happened a week ago. Okay, bear with me. Um, and then on the other side, it was the Gotham trio again. So it's like, oh yeah, the Gotham trio is gonna happen, and then everyone's gonna do their singles. I'm like, okay, cool. So the Gotham trio happened, and then Sean Pertwee did his singles. David Mazouz did the duo, and then they sent Riddler away. And like, why are you sending Corey away? I have a single with him too. It was just a lot of waiting, unnecessary waiting around because they didn't have a big queue at all. Um, but what I wanted from that picture that I have with David and Sean was like a barbershop quartet photo, and what I got was just me, and I look absolutely massive in it, and I'm just like I'm not happy with the photo whatsoever. I really hate that photo. That's a photo you should hate, Simon, not your Felicity one. Your Felicity one is amazing. What I got, I look like a planet. No, I look like the sun with planets revolving around it. That's what I have, Simon. That's what I have. So yeah. And then Yeah, they're nice guys. Then obviously Corey came back, got my Corey photo, um, and then what else? And then David Ramsey, David, no, then it was Colton Hayes, who had one of the biggest queues again. So I got my Colton Hayes photo done, but then the printers broke. Dun, dun, dun. And this was just horrendous. These printers kept on breaking all weekend. You can tell these printers were old. They were just overheating. You could smell them burning. Honest to God. So they said, "Oh, come back in a bit. We're gonna fix." All right then. I've got my David Ramsey shoot still to come. So I had that done. Now we was waiting around for David. See, they called for David Ramsey's shoot, so I'm like at the front of the line, and then they say, "Oh, he's running late because he's still at his panel." I'm like, what? Okay. And then obviously he came off his panel, and then we get told, "Oh, he hasn't had a break all day. He hasn't eaten anything all day, so he's got to have some food first." Okay. Then I get another text. "Oh, David Ramsey photo shoot, calling all groups." I'm like, what? You just told me he's not going to be here yet, and you're calling everyone here. What are you doing? And then the next text comes through. "Oh, David Ramsey photo shoot closed." Wait, so you've now closed off the photo shoot, and he's not even here yet? What is going on? And then he shows up. Hooray! And I got my photo done, and I got my photo from him because that side of the room, the printers were still working. And then obviously this is just like the thing now. Oh, the Colton Hayes photos just not going to come out. So like we're queuing up, like trying to find an explanation for the photos and all that. And then I got flashbacks to MCM last year. Now, if you remember watching my MCM video last year and how I described how the photos were getting distributed, where someone was on a chair and they were holding up a photo, shouting out, "Is this? Who is this?" That is exactly what happened that day. There was someone on a chair holding up a photo, shouting out, "Is this anybody's?" And the queue went back quite some way. And I'm like, not again. Not again. For the love of God, why is this happening? And it just went to shit at that point, actually. The printers stopped working, they packed up, they didn't want to know. And yeah, so I'm pissed off at this point. Simon's pissed off at this point. I missed out on my Charlotte Ross autograph. I managed to get a few extras for friends, luckily enough, including my Willa Holland. And my John Barron one. Now, I had to get a John Barron autograph for a friend. I walked back into the Pavilion Autograph Hall about an hour before it's supposed to shut. I walk in there, he's like, "Oh, who are you after?" "John Barron." He's like, "Oh, be quick, he's about to leave." I'm like, "What do you mean he's about to leave? He doesn't supposed to leave for another hour." And then like, I went to his queue of two, might add. And like, the steward like whispers to me, "Oh, don't ask personalisation, he's really moody." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, he's really moody, don't ask personalisation." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, sign this please." And I'm like, "Oh, usual, whatever." And then he's like, "Okay, thank you, man, thank you." Like, and then he just walks off. I'm like, "But he's supposed to sign for another hour." And from what I hear, I'm like, apparently he had a break all day. So Rogue was stretching their guys so thinly where they weren't allowed to have a break all day. That is insane. That is truly insane. Now, with Katie Cassidy, with her being late and doing everybody's 2 days worth of photo shoots in one day, there was the big rumour going around that she wasn't going to do autographs, especially with a torn bicep. But later in the day, there was a tweet out by Rogue. "Oh, priority and VIPs go to this room for Katie Cassidy autographs." I'm like, what? What? And the thing is, though, if she's got a torn bicep, she won't be able to sign for very long. And now we were starting to get worried. Well, if she's doing autographs, she's not going to get through everyone. That's not fair. But then they started calling out the groups. It's like A, come to here, B, C, D. And like, I was upstairs in the room at this point because I had nothing left to do. Because them two were still in the autograph hall. And then F was called. And I'm texting Simon, and I'm like, go, 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 go. Kate Cassidy's doing autographs in this room. You've been called. Go, 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 go now. And so I thought, I'm going to go downstairs and just see if I can black myself into the room. So I'm hanging around outside it, and it's about 5, 6 people hanging around outside the door, steward at the door. And she's going from, I don't want to say slowly, but, she's going for him. And F was called, and Simon and Dave have just walked up. And they're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, F's been called, go in and she's in autographs. And at that point, there was a guy who had just come out of the room, and he said, oh, do you want to get in the room? I went, yeah. And he's like, do you want my lanyard? And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I've got everything. She was the last one I needed. And he was B. And he's like, take it. I'm like, thank you so much. Because I was cute. Like I said, I was cute. So I wasn't going to get called for a very long time. So luckily no one noticed. So they let me in the room, and I got my autograph from Katie Cassidy, which was amazing because they cut the cure for L. So I would never have gotten an autograph from Katie Cassidy if it wasn't for that man. So thank you, man. Thank you, stranger, kind stranger, whoever you are. And I owe you one, really. A hug for you if I ever see you again. Thank you kindly, sir. And it literally just went to shit. Like people were tweeting out, oh, we can't get photos. They're saying we're not allowed to get our photos anymore. Um, they closed off the autograph hall without even calling all the groups yet. Um, Danielle Penderbaker even tweeted out, "This is horrendous for Rogue events. They should have more respect. I'm going to sign past my signing time, make sure everyone gets something." Like, that's major respect right there. Um, so the day had ended, and that was that. And we were just all back in the room at this point, and we were like exchanging photos and stuff. And and I was looking at my Stephen Amell photo, and oh my god, again pirate. We had named him Captain Chin. Captain Chin. Because his chin was so pointy, it was unreal, and the beard on it was unreal, and you could tell he just had his teeth whitened because he was showing up. He was showing off the top layer of his teeth, and we just came up with the name Captain Chin. So we got Captain Chin and Patches, and Franz the hip hop artist. Great crew. Um, and we were just like, again, we were just like going for photos, like, oh, that's Tom Kavanagh. He's such a nice boy. Isn't he a nice man? And John Barrowman, oh, here comes Uncle John. And I'm like, oh, I've got to go to the psychiatrist now and show them an adult where he touched me. Like, all these like classic English British humour jokes. Because like that's what we are. We're British people. We have British humour. Um, and like Dave would often give me like the sign of a Werther's. Like, like give me that look. Got Werther's here for you. I'm like, dirty old man. But it was just, you know what, I got all my stuff that out of everything I wanted to do. I missed out on one autograph, which was included in my package. I would have liked to have met Kane and Lonsdale and Robbie Amell, um, but regrettably I didn't. Um, but money wise, what can you do? Um, so that night we all went back to TGI Fridays. So I'm like, oh Dave, come on, we'll go spoons. Last night, where to go spoons? Nah, we went to TGI Fridays again. And you know what? It was such a nice evening. It was a really nice evening. Because we had just like spoke about how the weekend went, and like Simon was so upset about his Colin Hayes photo because he was the one guy that Simon really wanted to meet all weekend, and he just had a bad day the day before, but he got told to go away from the Colin Hayes queue, and he couldn't get a Colin Hayes 8x10 because they had sold out, and now the picture thing. Oh yeah, no. Before we went out for dinner, we were told to come back that night to grab the photos that had been printed, and it was a war zone because there were half the pictures weren't there. They were like, "Oh, the printers are packed up, can't do nothing." They're like, "What?" So what you're trying to say is that we are not getting our pictures? Yeah, basically. they said, "Oh, we're going to upload them at some point, and you're going to have to just download it for free. You can download the digital copy." We were like, "But we've paid for a print. We want a print." Like, no, you haven't paid for a print. You've paid for an opportunity to get a photo. And like, really, you're gonna knock out the small print bullshit? And I had seen people arguing with them. I'd seen people shouting at them. Apparently, it was a lot worse before we went down there. There was security there trying to make sure that nothing was going to kick off. It was unreal. The scenes were unreal. Luckily, I managed to grab my Stephen Amell photo because I was still waiting on that. And actually, managed to get 2 copies of it, believe it or not. I've got the sniffles. Yeah. I'm in a lot now. So we was like really pissed off by that. But you know what? All is not lost. I'm sure they'd sort it out. But then again, saying that, it's been the con ended a week today, and I still haven't got my Colton Hayes photo. But they are uploading them though. But it seems that Colton Hayes is to be the last one, literally the last one. So like I said, we then went to TGI Fridays, and it was like it all started to become a calm down at this point. Like, oh, it's over. This is like really sad. Like, we was at the last meal, and might I say, the Warrior Burger from TGI's was a mission, but me and Simon conquered it, and we had a dessert. You know what? Because we're flat out badass. But it was just such a nice evening with very nice boys, because they're nice boys. And again, a lovely waitress kept on topping up my drinks on it. And then we just went back to the hotel room and just discussed about everything, about life in general, about how we're seeing each other again in 2 weeks' time for MCM. But it was just going to be very emotional, and we always did these things because we live so far apart from each other. Because I haven't seen Dave since February for London Super Comic Con, and he only lives in Crawley. But yeah, and like obviously next morning breakfast, and like we started packing our shit together and whatnot, and we were just like, don't want to go home. We don't want it to end. And we were just like getting quite emotional, and like so we checked out and we went off to the station, and Dave's just pelting it. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss my train." You're not gonna miss your train, Dave. He just didn't care. He was running for that train. And then we got to the train station, and Dave was just standing there like, "Oh, my train's not here yet." Like, well, yeah. Dave was on a different train than me coming home. He was on the train before me, so he left, and then obviously just me and Simon were like hugging it out. We were like, "See you in 2 weeks." He's like, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." And that was pretty much, and that's it. It was like home time. It's like, oh wow, okay. Now I'm trying to remember anything else, like anything like, you know, any importance, but I can't seem, because so much happened, but not a lot happened. If you get what my drift. So I'm going to leave it at that. Simon, Dave, if you remember anything else, please just write it in the comment section so I can remember, because I can't. I've gone blank now. So I hope you've enjoyed my story of Sea of Heroes 2. Me and Simon are going back next year, and Dave, I think, going back next year. And then obviously there's Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, which has just been announced, which is going to be insane. But before then, we got MCM Comic Con coming in this weekend with Simon and Dave once again. The con artists in full force. Woohoo! So I hope you enjoy this video. And again, I'm still waiting on my Colton Hayes photo. Still waiting. As of the 22nd of May, still waiting. So yeah, again, I hope you enjoy this video, and keep rebelizing. Later, guys.